There may be a long breath between now and training camp, but that doesn't mean there is a long breath between now and our next film room video. On top of our weekly film breakdowns, we're also bringing Eagles Film Roulette, which will spin the wheel on the entire roster, land on a random player, and from there we break down 5 plays from their 2018 season. We broke down Halapulavati Vaitai in week 1. Who are we going to break down in week 2? Leave a like, hit subscribe if you enjoy this sort of content, and don't forget to check out phillysportsnetwork.com for your daily dose of Philadelphia sports news. Without further ado, here is Eagles Film Roulette. Alright, here we go. There are 90 names in the Eagles man roster. That's how many are spinning. Who are we going to get this time round? We land on... defensive tackle Fletcher Cox. You could not ask for a better guy to break down some tape on. Let's get straight to it. It is so hard to narrow this down to just 5 plays. He deserves his own film room, but I just want to touch on the sheer power and violent hand usage that Cox brings to the table. Cox is just an old school mauler, and everything about his play resembles that. He wants to go out and dominate, and the chop club may be one of the oldest moves in the book, but when executed like this, it is just thunderous. There is no way you cannot be left shell-shocked by just how hard that outside arm comes sweeping down. Take a look at it in slow motion here. At this point, that's bad news. Cox sets his outside foot to the position he wants to go. It's one-on-one, there's no help, and he just uses that outside arm to throw him. It's so violent. Tyson Fury will be proud of that kind of right hook, and then he just homes in on Fitzpatrick and brings him down assertively. Now, Cox obviously draws a lot of defensive attention, so the Eagles have to be creative in the way they get him open and isolate those one-on-one matchups. One of these ways was to really enhance the use of defensive ends. On this defensive line to the right, you've got Chris Long furthest away from the screen, Fletcher Cox circled, and then you've got Michael Bennett. Josh Sweat is on the other side, but now Michael Bennett is actually going to loop around and pick up the left guard. What this does is leave the centre trying to follow Michael Bennett, and of course isolates Chris Long and Fletcher Cox one-on-one. The tight end tries to help the tackle. At that point, the minute the centre drifts away, is Fletcher Cox one-on-one, and even though that's a blatant face mask penalty, he spins across the body of the offensive lineman and still manages to bring down the quarterback. He may be being done dirty here, but look at the way his eyes are still focusing directly into the path of the quarterback. He knows he's stepping back up into the pocket. Cox spins back across into the path of the signal caller, and down he goes. You don't get a play much better than that. I just can't think of many other defensive tackles who, when having a hand ripping at their face mask, can have the awareness and the power to shed that block and somehow still make a play on the quarterback. It's unreal. We're going to see another example of that here, and again, look at how the Eagles get Cox open. They bring Nigel Bradham down to the line of scrimmage, a linebacker who hovers over the Cowboys center. At this point, with Cox lining up to the left-hand side, this should now be an ISO matchup. But what's very clever is they don't want to blitz Bradham. He's not a great blitzer, so they just drop him back into coverage. But because they held that center up for so long, because his eyes were so focused on the threat of Bradham, he actually allows that pocket to completely dissipate. Like, look at the state of the pocket now. The center is just so fixed on what's going on, turns around to absolute chaos. Now, if we flip this play back again and just look at how dominant Fletcher Cox is, the guy's like a forklift on steroids, then runs straight into Ezekiel Elliott and bullies him into the path of Dak Prescott. You can't even find words to describe how dominant this is. He's lining up on the inside shoulder of number 76, and within 2 seconds, the get off is so quick, then he's just thrown aside, ends up on his knees. Ezekiel Elliott follows suit, and then down goes Dak Prescott. The man is a human wrecking ball. But what's so impressive is that he's not just this dominant powerhouse like a Batista or Brock Lesnar. He's a technicality specialist. The way he executes that rip move there to perfection, it almost gets you flustered. Let's slow it down and watch it again. He sets himself with the outside arm, brushes off contact, and just rips away that claw from the offensive lineman. Gets straight into the backfield, almost completely unscathed, and brings down Eli Manning. But this is the play that seals it all. You want to know how elite Fletcher Cox is, just how powerful he is? You don't even need a sack to prove it. It's his awareness at the line of scrimmage. This play right here, 2nd and goal, and Cox stuffs the running back. It may look simple, guys. It isn't. Let's slow it down and look at this. The Falcons are going to pull their right guard, but everyone else, and I mean everyone on that offensive line, is going to move to the right. The idea is that it creates a gaping hole for Freeman to run into. You're going to have the fullback pick up Camu Grugier-Hill. The guard picks up Rodney McLeod. Now, Fletcher Cox is going to get absolutely buried by about £1,200 worth of man beef at this point. And instead, just watch how anticipatory he is. The athleticism, the power, the awareness. This play is next level. So he almost gets chipped there by the tackle, sifts through, finds Freeman, and then brings how he gets from one side to the other. He's on the backside of a pool. He should not be making that play. If anyone is going to bring down Devonta Freeman in this play, you're looking straight at number 97, Destiny Vio. Someone where that run is going straight to him, but he gets swallowed by the current, as does everyone else. It's only Cox that somehow gets up, brushes all of that mass aside, and somehow gets into the vision of Devonta Freeman. It's frankly ridiculous. I think Fletcher Cox deserves his own film room, but it would take me hours to gush over his technical prowess and just how dominant he is. But let me know what you think of this concept, guys. If you enjoy these baby film rooms, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a like if you enjoy the content. From myself, Liam Jenkins, you can follow me on Twitter at LiamJenkinsPSN, at PhiladelphiaSN. I'll see you next time.